Hey everyone, it's me, Donna. As some of you may already know, I have did a 23andMe DNA test, and I got my results back. And also, I've uploaded the raw data to myheritage.com and gedmatch.com. And I have really, dove deep into it. I have built me a tree on myheritage.com, but I've also built me an even larger tree for free on ancestry.com. And I have found some pretty interesting things that has, like blowed my mind. And I'm like, wow, could this be true, So I figured the only way to find out for sure is to actually do an ancestry.com DNA test. So I've went and bought me a kit, and I'm going to send off my sample and wait 6 to 8 weeks or however long and get my results. I just find this whole thing very fascinating. And my thought on it is, I just have come to realize that it's really a good idea to get your results from more than one source, because, say, like my Native American heritage, for instance, I've been told growing up that I had Native American in me. And I was kind of like on the fence about it, even though quite a few people in the family said, no, we have Native American. I still kind of, because I ended up redheaded, even though I know there's redheaded Native American people and whatever. But I just, I kind of wonder, well, how, but anyway. So when I took the test from 23andMe, it didn't show Native American. It showed, other things, but it didn't show that. And I was like, oh, but then it kept telling me when I would check my cousins and all that, it kept telling me that I had Native American in common with these people. And I was like, well, how can I have Native American if I don't have Native American? And I just found that kind of interesting and odd, and I thought, that must be a hint. For some reason, whatever it is, even though they chose not to show my Native American, still it did show that I had that in common with, my other cousins who showed up with quite a bit of Native American in them. So when I did upload my raw DNA to other places like GEDmatch, on GEDmatch it showed up. I mean, it showed up, and I was like, okay, wow, So I do have Native American in me, but for whatever reason, it just didn't show up on 23andMe. I suspect, after, doing some thinking and a little bit of digging, whatever, I think it might have something to do with the fact that my Native American most likely came from what they call Mesoamerica, or in the areas of the Aztecs, Mayans, and Incans. That's, from Mexico on down to the upper part of South America. I just suspect that maybe that's why it didn't really show up, because I think probably 23andMe are using mostly Native. They're getting most of their samples from Native American people who came, supposedly, if you believe the Alaskan route. They say a lot of Native Americans went from Asia through Alaska down into the Americas. Well, I suspect maybe they got most of their samples from those Native American people, and they haven't really gathered enough from Native Americans who come from actually South America and middle, I guess what you say Central America. I don't think they've got like a good enough pool from there. So my suggestion would be to them, hey, why don't you test more people from that area? So I suspect that's where most of my Native American came from. And also I have showed up Asian. I didn't know I had Asian in me, but I have Asian in me. So that I found that quite interesting. And that showed up. It didn't really show up on 23andMe. There was just hints, just like the Native American, but it did show that like western parts of Asia, as well as of course you got your upper Africa and all those areas within that region. I mean, I'm mixed. Like when it comes to Europe, I've got all kinds of ethnicities from the area. Even Spanish. I've got Spanish. I've got, you name it. French, Italian, Greek. I have got, all that stuff. Middle East. you name it. I've gotten all that stuff in me somehow. But anyway, so somehow or another, I think 23andMe just couldn't quite pinpoint some of it, because it did lump quite a bit of stuff into a broadly such and such term or whatever, because it couldn't quite identify it. But like I said, when I went to GEDmatch, it broke more of that stuff down, and it did discover things that didn't actually come out on 23andMe. I'm not saying 23andMe is bad or anything like that, because I'm glad and I'm grateful for what I did find out there. But my advice for anyone who really truly wants to know if you have Native American or anything else that doesn't show on 23andMe, put your DNA to another source. Like check some other place out as well, like GEDmatch or whatever. And, kind of dig deeper into it. And you may find stuff that didn't show up on 23andMe. And say like my Asian, for instance. Like I said, it just hinted around. It didn't actually say that I had Asian in me. But when I checked on GEDmatch, I do. I have Polynesian and other Asian as well. So, yeah, I just found that interesting, and I just wish that 23andMe did have more, I guess, DNA from those areas, to test people like me. But, I mean, of course, that's just a suggestion. But anyway, I'm hoping that I can find out more, maybe from ancestry.com. I'm kind of curious on, what my results will be with that. Will any of this other stuff show up? Who knows? But anyway, like I said, I have done a large tree on Ancestry, since it's free. Although if you want to actually dig deep and find records and all that bunch of stuff about your ancestors or whatever, you have to pay for a subscription. So it's kind of like one of those things that, I mean, although this is great, and the fact that you can build a tree for free, is wonderful. You still have to do that subscription if you really, want to get straight up results or whatever, even though there's ways around it. I mean, there's different ways that you can find information about your ancestors that kind of works around. You can get pieces here and pieces there, and you can Google your ancestors and their date of births or whatever, and you can find out a lot just doing it that way. But I mean, although I'm sure it would be better if you could afford a subscription, which I cannot, and I had to save up money just to be able to get this, to do this. And I know some people be like, that's a waste of money or whatever. But, to me, it's worth it. I just, there's just some things I really want to know. And I want to know, even though it says it in my tree that I'm kin to like Red Eagle, Weatherford. I don't know if some of you may or may not know who that is, but he's a Native American that had dealings with Andrew Jackson. There was like a lot of conflict with Native Americans within the southern United States and all that, and he kind of got tangled up in all that, and he's a historical figure, whatever, and it shows that I am kin to him. And also it shows that I have like French royalty, and just recently I discovered that I might have British royalty. So I don't know for sure. But, you know, I want to see if there might be like some DNA matches here and there, certain names, certain things. So I'm thinking, hey, maybe this will help, you know. And of course, you know, nothing like this would hold up in court for anybody or anything. But, but still, I mean, it would just be neat, you know, to find out, you know, hey, you know, and to, you know, in my own mind. Because, like, if I start matching up with some of these people that are, you know, on up the line closer to these people that, you know, I have matched up with on my tree, you know, then in my mind, I think it would kind of be like, okay, yeah, I can say with a good certainty that, yeah, I am a descendant way down the line from royalty or whatever, you know. Not that it matters in the real world anyway, but it'd just be fun to know in your own head. And I'm sure there's lots of people out there, thousands of people, if not millions, who have, you know, who are descended from royalty of some sort. So, you know, but it's still fun to know, you know, if you can kind of trace it on down your line, or on down your line. Not lined. But anyway, so yeah, I'm going to skip all the nasty part of this right here. Yeah, because you got to spit in the tube and all that. So, but I am going to send it off. And when I get my results back, then I will be more than happy to share them. So, we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.